suppose it's always very difficult to give gratuitous advice, but I am somewhat concerned about it because at a time when the governor is going to be swearing in the most inexperienced government in the history of the country, we're going to have super-sized portfolios, and running a $50 billion business of government is certainly a big challenge as it is. It's going to be very, very difficult for these new ministers, the majority of which have not had ministerial experience, and certainly many of them weren't even in Parliament before the last state election.
They come from very different backgrounds. They've got different qualifications. I've known these people over a number of years. I know they are committed, they are hard-working, and they are eager to get on with the job. And if we recall, under the Newman government, you might remember that Campbell Newman, when he became Premier, was a first-time MP, had never sat in the Queensland Parliament. This is going to be a steady ship. I'm going to take people with me. I'm going to be out there in the regions. I'm not going to be just based in the southeast. I'm going to be out there listening. I'm going to be responding to their concerns, and I'll be making it very clear to my cabinet ministers and to my caucus members that I expect that from them.
How did you feel when you walked into the caucus meeting yesterday?
Patrick, I have to tell you, I had a tear in my eye. Just thinking 3 years ago, 7 of us, and the first caucus meeting we had up in Ipswich, I can tell you that was probably the most humbling experience of my life. Walking in there 3 years later, 44 members, historic, absolutely historic occasion, and I was overwhelmed.
Will you go back to Labor's Cross River Rail or stick with the Bat Tunnel or neither?
Well, we can't stick with the Bat Tunnel, Spencer, because even Lawrence Springborg has taken it off the table. This whole Bat Tunnel was solely based on asset sales, and Queenslanders have spoken resoundingly about what they think about assets.
Okay, but Labor had the Cross River Rail before, when you were last in power, so will you go back to that plan?
We will put it up to Building Queensland, the independent agency that we will convene very quickly to make sure that it becomes a public transport infrastructure priority. Knocking
down 100 George Street, the executive building, putting the new casino in there, is that going to happen?
I can tell you, Spencer, that I had a briefing from my DG only yesterday. The Queen's Wharf proposal, I will get an urgent briefing on this week, but I'm really unprepared to divulge any of the details that I got yesterday. But we will be having a look at it.
Okay, the Premier Literary Awards, that was one of the first things cut by Campbell Newman. Will they return now that Labor's back in power?
Well, the Premier is now the Minister for Arts, something that she's very much relishing, and we've had a conversation about this, but we haven't made a decision. I think it's a shame. In fact, it's an embarrassment that Queensland stands out there as the only state without a Premier's Literary Awards in this nation, and we want to address that.